This is probably the most honest film about how the West sees Muslims. It's called Citizen Vigilante, written and produced by Uwe Boll. He makes low-budget, largely unpopular films. However, this time, this film of his has reached the top of various streaming charts, tens of millions of views, because in large part, it's been amplified by the anti-Muslim, pro-Zionist bigots, the likes of Elon Musk, Patrick Bet-David, and others. So why? Why are they promoting it? That will become clearer when I explain to you the plot and show you some clips from the film. But nothing in this film is really new to Western audiences. It's the same story fundamentally that Hollywood has been telling for decades about Muslims and also Arabs. The only difference is that every other film tried to be slightly more subtle about the stereotypes, the racism, the tropes, or hide it behind a plot. But this one just simply doesn't bother. So what's the film about? It's a story of a former US Army officer played by Armie Hammer. He travels to an unnamed city in Europe to take over his dead father's real estate business, collecting rent from poor tenants as well as running a brothel. His other pastime, however, is vengeance. Vengeance against migrants, non-whites, those foreigners destroying the civilized West from inside. He also targets judges and officials he thinks have gone just simply too soft. The ones turning a blind eye to migrant and other Muslim crimes, turning the perpetrators into victims. Then there's this scene. The protagonist enters a family home. Sitting there is Yusuf, a teenage Muslim who's been convicted of gang raping a 14-year-old white girl, but given by one of those soft liberal judges a suspended sentence, so he's basically free. But he's not alone in his home. He's with his family.
So I guess you're wondering why I'm here.
I'm here because of my son, because of the court. The court free him. And this is the court from your country.
Of course. Because your son and his friends had to rape that 14-year-old girl.
He's young. He don't know nothing.
Is that why you did it, Yusuf?
I'm sorry.
It's very good work by your attorney, by the way. Painting them as the victim. What was it? Traumatic integration?
But we're all getting mental help now and support. We will be better in the future. I promise that.
It's the right answer. The only problem is that on your social media, since the event, I have not seen any regret or empathy. In fact, I think you said that she deserved to be raped.
What I mean is that they dress wrong and just make boys horny with their mini skirts. They show their legs and breasts.
You wrote that she deserved it.
I will delete it.
Are these the values you're teaching your children?
I teach him the values from Quran and these values from our family.
Well, if these are your values, that women in America and Europe deserve to be raped because of a dress code, why did you come here?
You know that we have several war in our country and we have a dangerous life. That's why we are here. And I think you know that.
Do you know what I think?
Why?
I don't think it was the good ones that got out of your country. I think it was the bad ones. And I think you brought with you your archaic value system and your commitment to religion over democracy and over anything else, including the rule of law.
Everything within this scene is so shockingly bad that it's almost funny. It's just such blatant, form of propaganda. From the father who says, we raise our children with the Quran, as though he's justifying that the Quran endorses the actions, the criminal actions of his son, to the sister who claims that the rape victim was to blame because white women showed their legs and a bit of cleavage, so they're asking for it. And the protagonist, the hero, making the point that while refugees may claim that they are fleeing from war, really, they're the bad ones. There are no real good refugees. They're coming here with their Islam and backward barbaric culture, something that's incompatible with democracy and the rule of law. The rule of law, that's ironic. Remember, this is a guy who kills judges because he doesn't agree with the judge's rulings. He's a vigilante who metes out collective punishment outside of the law, all of which are the exact opposite of following the rule of law. The irony that runs throughout this film would, in normal situations, make this a comedy. For instance, the hero runs or receives rent from a brothel, the very thing that exploits women, while believing he's trying to protect innocent women and girls. Exploiting women by Muslim? Well, that's terrible. That's bad. While Westerners doing it, white people doing it, well, it's just providing employment opportunities, it seems. But amazingly, the irony, the hypocrisy, the utter racist tropes being pushed, many ignorant Westerners actually believe, this type of nonsense that's being pushed by the film. They believe all the stereotypes and the tropes and somehow think that this is some sort of dramatized documentary they're watching. Ignorance that leads them to believe Muslims are barbaric due to their religion, are unable to live in a civilized society like that of the West. They are a danger to the pure, innocent white girls and threat to the West in general. That the authorities are too weak, too soft, too fearful, that they allow the Muslims to prey upon the white indigenous population, and that ultimately they need to be eliminated to protect the West, and that requires a white savior, a Batman type figure who works outside of the law to deal with those who can't live within it, these migrants and Muslims. And that his violence, the violence perpetrated by this hero of the film, even against the entire family, he's killing the whole family, not just Yusuf, the guy who committed the rape, but the entire family, including the mother. It's a righteous slaughter. They are collectively guilty by virtue of holding beliefs that threaten the West, that bring up children like this. It's pretty clear what the film is saying. The hero himself tells us,
It's time to go out and show these that they aren't getting away with it anymore. Remember, I do this for you until you learn to do it for yourself.
Do it for yourself. An instruction to you, the person watching. That's the whole film in one sentence. It isn't asking you to feel something. It's asking you, it's a call to action. So why do I say that this is just the same old Hollywood tropes when it comes to Muslims and Arabs? Because it's been counted. Jack Shaheen wrote a book, Real Bad Arab. He went through 1,000 films that showed Arab and Muslim characters. 936 of these films portrayed Arab and Muslims negatively. Terrorists, barbaric, backwards, the bad guys, the villains. He notes that only Native Americans have been depicted more negatively in film than Arab and Muslims. So let's look at a few examples. Firstly, the innocent white girl under threat or preyed upon by the Arab, the foreigner, the Muslim. Remember this film?
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
Well, there's this scene in it.
Mister, if you're trying to make extortion on us because we're immigrants, we know the law.
I'm extorting you because you were breaking the law. Now, which charge would you like to be arrested for? Drugs, kidnapping, prostitution? Take your pick. You come to this country, take advantage of the system, and think because we are tolerant, we are weak and helpless. Your arrogance offends me. And for that, the rate just went up 10%. Now, you want to get down to business, or do you want to keep playing?
You see, the criminals are Albanians, and as we know, Albania is historically a majority Muslim country. And just in case you're not aware of the religion of many Albanians, well, the guy trying to buy this poor girl, kidnapped and drugged, well, this is the guy. Clearly an Arab-looking person. It's a joke, isn't it? The migrant Muslim gangs preying on your children, selling them to rich Arabs to be abused. It's the exact same message that Citizen Vigilante conveys. Migrant gangs, danger to girls, linked to being Arab or Muslim. Then we have the film American Sniper, based on largely false information from a book written by Chris Kyle. The opening scene shows a Muslim woman who carries a grenade, then passes it on to her son, as they can then undertake a suicide attack against the Marines that were approaching. So it's clear what this film is trying to portray, that there are no innocent Muslims, that they are so uncivilized that they would use their own children to undertake suicide attacks. Now, there's a lot of videos that have debunked Chris Kyle. His claims show that he's a habitual liar, but the image in the film, well, that's all that matters. Nobody really cares whether the image is true or not. It's what it passes to the audience. And that image of a sniper training their sights against a mother and a child, and therefore ultimately having to kill them because they're carrying a grenade, that's what Jack Shaheen calls righteous slaughter. The idea that although having to kill Muslim-looking brown people, including women and children, is bad, but ultimately it's justified. We've seen this in other films like Rules of Engagement, released in 2000. The film depicts a trial of a US Marine who opened fire on demonstrators, killing supposedly civilians. The US Marine, he tries to argue that it was justified because they shot at him first. We see this scene, a poor Yemeni girl who lost her leg because of the Marine shooting the crowd of demonstrators. But as the trial continues, information comes out that the crowd of demonstrators were actually shooting at the Marines first. Did you see it? The girl, the same one apparently we were originally meant to feel sorry for, was in fact shooting a gun trying to kill Americans. It flips the script. Suddenly it's considered righteous slaughter, exactly how Citizen Vigilante presents the murder of the entire family. And Citizen Vigilante justifies this murder by getting each member to justify the gang rape, show that they are a danger and will continue to be a danger. Even in the film of Rules of Engagement, a similar process occurs for the audience, and audio is aired or released in the court.
Will you translate the writing on the outside of that cassette, please?
Declaration of Islamic Jihad against the United States.
These audio cassettes are used for the purposes of religious and political propaganda due to the high illiteracy rate in Yemen. Is that correct?
Yes.
Will you translate the words you hear on this audio cassette for the court, please?
إننا ننادي إلى كل مسلم يؤمن بالله ويعمل في جنته أن يطيع ما أمر به.
Dr. Amar.
We call on every Muslim who believes in God and hopes for reward to obey God's command.
أن يقتل الأمريكيين وأن يحطم كل ما يملكون أنما وجدهم.
Dr. Amar, does it say what God's command is?
To kill Americans and plunder their possessions wherever he finds them.
إن قتل الأمريكيين وحلفائهم كانوا مدنيين أو عسكريين لهو واجب فردي على
To kill Americans and their allies, both civil and military, is duty of every Muslim who is able.
To kill Americans is a duty. Is that what it says?
Yes.
Kill the infidels, kill the Americans, kill the civilians and the military. Remember, this is just an example of a long list of examples from Hollywood films. The constant theme is Muslim Arab, bad. The villain, backward, a threat to the civilized society or civilized West, and that there needs to be people from the West who may break the law but do so for a righteous reason in order to undertake righteous slaughter. And these uncivilized people that come here, that live amongst us, well, in Jared Butler's own words, he said,
"So why don't you boys pack up your shit and head back to Kurdistan or wherever it is you're from?"
That's from London Has Fallen. A group of Arab terrorists attacked London and the lone white man is holding the line protecting the West, just like the hero in Civilian Vigilante. But Hollywood tries to do something else. They claim it's for balance, but really it's a cover for the racist tropes that they project on screen. It's the depiction of a good Muslim or good Arab. But the good Muslim is the one helping the Americans. He's the exception to the norm, seen as a traitor to his own people, We see this in films like Syriana from 2005 or TV shows like Homeland 24 or Sleeper Cell. It's basically an American-raised or Western-facing Muslim protagonist positioned as sympathetic and relatable, set against the backdrop of extremism from his own community or country.
You wearing that thing on your head? It's one big fuck you to the people who would have been your co-workers, except they perished in a blast right out there. So if you need to wear it, if you really need to, which is your right, you better be the best analyst we've ever seen, and that means don't tell me there's nothing. Give me a plan. Give me a goddamn plan, or don't say anything. Is it clear?
Film and TV makers can say that it's for balance having this good Muslim, even though the underlying narrative is still exactly the same. Muslim, Islam, bad, evil, a danger to the West. That's why I said at the beginning that this film is the most honest film in how the West sees Muslims. It's just the tropes, it's the stereotypes, without any claims or illusions that they're trying to create some sort of balance within this. So Hollywood has depicted Muslims or the Arabs as the bad guys. There's been decades of priming Western audience to see Muslims and Arabs like this. All of this now has resulted in what we now see in Citizen Vigilante. So it's not a different thing. This film is not a different thing. It's part of the lineage of how Muslims and Arabs, or Muslims generally, have been depicted in the media. The fear, the anger, and the constant selective outrage pushed by politicians and far-right activists and media, all of it feeds the reaction we are now currently seeing. Pogroms in Belfast, riots in Southampton, attacks on elderly Muslims out for a run at a local park, and attempts to burn down mosques. It seems the message at the end of the film, Citizen Vigilante, hasn't gone unnoticed.
It's time to go out and show these fuckers that they aren't getting away with it anymore. Remember, I do this for you until you learn to do it for yourself.
This isn't just me saying this. Cheerleaders for this film, like Patrick Bet-David, they have said the same thing. They are clear what the message is.
The movie's going to inspire a lot of people to do this. I'm telling you right now, this is one of the darkest movies I've seen that's going to inspire actual vigilantes who are sick of it in Europe.
Anyways, if you liked this video and you thought it was beneficial, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Inshallah, it helps us out. And also write examples that you can think of in regards to films that you've watched that depict Islam and Muslims in a particular way. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.